Hey everybody, welcome back to another campaign play. This time I'm taking on the Passage of the Marshes, and my name is Dave Walsh, host of Card Talk, and I am excited to bring you this next scenario in my Saga campaign. Before we get started and set up the actual scenario, let's take a look at the campaign log and the deck and see what we got going on, and maybe talk a little bit about the hints that are going to help me get through this scenario. For this scenario, you can see we're back to Frodo being the Fellowship hero, so with that comes Weight of the Ring and Gandalf's Delay in play, but not much else has changed. We did substitute Mithril Shirt for Anduril. Anduril can only be played on Aragorn, and the Palantir of Orthanc can only be played on Aragorn, so those are going to have to sit on the sidelines for a little bit. In this particular scenario, we do have the mire keyword, and the mire keyword kind of represents us trudging very slowly through the dead marshes, and it can lead to some pretty bad things. So if you end up with mire tokens on a location equal to the mire value, then the location triggers a mire effect. That's a lot of mires that I just said right there. And so the mire effect then is kind of bad. I'll say kind of bad because the mire effect itself won't kill you, but it usually leads to things that will likely kill you. But let's take a look at the deck and maybe how we're going to get through the dead marshes. So this is the Bond of Saga Ship Hobbit deck that I've been playing, and in this particular scenario I have found that from the very beginning that Hasty Stroke is good to have in your hand because there's a shadow effect that can kill you from the get-go. So being able to cancel it when it is on Gollum, it's important. Forewarned doesn't cancel shadow effects on unique enemies. I have to try to have a hasty stroke to be able to kill those shadow effects. Other things that I have found that are helpful is having a few allies in this scenario. The transition between stage 2 and stage 3, it can be a little hairy depending on what your board state is, and having a couple of allies on the table help out a ton there. You don't necessarily need a ton to quest. Having a big defender is probably good, so towering up Sam with Hobbit Cloak is good as long as you can keep your threat down. I would hesitate to say that this scenario is a little bit easier coming off of the scenarios that we just did. You can lose this scenario. I've played this a couple of times leading up to this recording. You don't want to take it for granted though. It's one that if you're not careful in some of your decisions at certain points, then you may find yourself in a world of hurt. There are 2 Nazgul. The Nazgul make their way back into encounter decks here, so that can be challenging. It's an interesting scenario here in the middle of the campaign. But let's get it set up and let's get started. So let's put the One Ring onto Frodo.
Is it secret? Is it safe?
And Old Bogey Stories goes on Sam, and Tireless Ranger.
He's one of them rangers.
That goes on Sam, and Forewarned also goes on Sam. And Gandalf's Delay.
Oh, I am sorry, Frodo. I was delayed.
We'll put that up here to the left of the staging area, and then Overcome by Grief also goes to the left of the staging area, and that only comes down if I lose an ally or lose a character. I did download the image packs finally. I got off my butt and finally downloaded all the image packs, so you'll see that I have the image for Bond of Friendship and for all the other later Hobbit cards that came out, like Odo Proudfoot and Thorngill and things like that. Okay, so now I will put the Weight of the Ring in the encounter deck, and Pursued by the Enemy back in the encounter deck, and I will wait to draw my opening hand before I put Sting and Mithril Shirt. So I will lower my threat by 1 because I have 5 Hobbit heroes. Shuffle the deck, and because of Gandalf's Delay, I'll draw 5 cards instead of 6. Okay, I like that opening hand, so I'm going to keep it. Now I will put Sting and Mithril Shirt into my deck and shuffle it. And now we will set up the campaign. It says each player shuffles one copy of the Searching Eye into his deck. And then it says remove burdens with those icons. Those are the Aragorn burden icons. And so that's what that's saying. So I'm going to take the Searching Eye and put this down here. Now do the scenario setup. It says put Gollum into play, engaged, first player. So Gollum becomes engaged.
They're thieves. They're filthy little thieves. Where is it? Where is it? They stole it from us. My precious.
Funny thing is Sam gets his bonuses until the end of the round, but right now we're not in a round, so I don't get anything. Then a location, which will be nice because I have the Curious Brandy Buck. So let's go and find a location. So I went and got the Soft Myers. It's got a Mire value of 1, which could be a little scary, but it's the one that's easiest to travel to, and it has low threat, and it just seems like the best one for now. There are a couple of locations that say you must exhaust Smeagol to travel here, so that means that I better flip Gollum as soon as possible. So now we flip this over, and when we do that, you'll see the annoying part about Gollum, Smeagol, is that whenever you make an attack, he gets plus X defense. And that defense is whatever card you discard, that's its threat value. So trying to get Smeagol can sometimes be a pain in the neck because you can attack for 8 and then you get a 4 threat location and now you only do 2 damage to him and it's like, you gotta be kidding me. I guess it's time to get started. I even get a sneak attack. What are the chances? I think I'll bring out Treebeard.
Treebeard, some call me.
I will then save that one for a fast hitch to put onto Samwise Gamgee. Here's what I will do is I will quest for 2, 3, 5 to begin with. And there's not a ton of progress I need to make here. Kind of the main thing that I really need to do is to flip Gollum. If I can flip Gollum soon, that's going to be pretty good. So I'm questing for 5, and there's 2 in the staging area. So I will use Mary to lower my threat by 2. Now I will travel to the Soft Myers. Let me resolve the quest first. So I quested for 4. Okay, that puts 1 progress on the current quest. So I travel to the Soft Myers. That raises my threat by 1. So now I can do this. Traveling to the Soft Myers, I'll put the Curious Brandy Buck into play. I'll defend Smeagol with Sam. Makes an additional attack. So additional attack. So he gets another shadow card. Ready, Sam. I will defend Gollum. Second attack with Sam. Raise your threat by 1. Okay. So I'll do that. And now the Groping Dead. I hate to do it, but the only option I really have is to defend with the Curious Brandy Buck and chump block. Curious Brandy Buck dies. Now, overcome by grief.
No! No! No!
I'm going to attach it to the ring bearer here. Here we go. Control N. Test of will. That's really good. I guess I will quest. So right now there's nothing in the staging area. So I will quest for 2. I'll quest for 4. I get, when revealed, attached to ring. At the beginning of each quest phase, or reveal an additional encounter card. Okay. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to exhaust the ring and spend the 1 and shuffle that back into the encounter deck.
Steady on.
doesn't have a shadow effect, and that I could easily see that as a shadow card. So I get a Groping Dead. So I will use Marry to lower my threat by 2. And I made 2 progress on the active location, and now this guy will engage. I'm going to sneak attack. Oh, I couldn't lower my threat by 2 because I had this guy. I'm still going to sneak attack Gandalf in.
A wizard is never late, Frodo Baggins. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
I think Gandalf is going to vaporize this guy. Bilbo is going to defend Gollum. Raise your threat by the attacking enemy's threat. Sam will defend the Groping Dead and get rid of the shadow card, and he takes a damage. Now I will do 4, 8, 9. Just Gollum. And there's 3. So 3 and 2 is 5. So I do 4 damage to Gollum. Okay, this guy goes back into my hand. Character wasn't destroyed. So I will now start a new round. Okay, I will bring out a Warden of Healing. Let's quest. Or do I want to... I don't think I want to bring out Gandalf right now. Since I can't lower my threat, I'll quest 2. I'll quest for 6. Topmost undead enemy in the encounter. That's horrible. I don't like the immediate attack thing. I think I'm going to shuffle this back. Again, it does have a shadow effect. So maybe this is the thing to Test of Will. Okay, so I'll Test of Will this thing. I forgot to count 2, 4, 6. I quested for 6. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This goes in the victory display. I'm going to have to do stuff with locations later on, so I'm just going to put this over here. Deal shadow cards. Bilbo will defend Gollum. No shadow effect. No damage. And then Sam will defend the Groping Dead. Take a damage. And now I think I will do 4, 5 damage to Gollum. Let's see what happens. Ah, good. Okay, Gollum comes into play on my side.
Maybe he does deserve to die. But now that I see him, I do pity him.
We'll be nice to them if they be nice to us. Take it of us. We swear to do what you want. We swear.
There's no promise you can make that I can trust.
We swear to serve the master of the precious. We will swear on the precious.
The ring is treacherous. It will hold you to your word.
Yes, on the precious. On the precious.
I don't believe you! Get down! Sam, down! Sam! He's trying to trick us! If we let him go, he'll throttle us in our sleep!
You know the way to Mordor.
Yes.
You've been there before.
Yes.
You will lead us to the Black Gate.
Flipped and exhausted. Before the end of the round, I will exhaust this guy and heal Sam. Sam is going to get Sting.
Sting. It's a good name. Sting.
I think I'm still going to wait for Gandalf. I just have a feeling. Right now, I feel like I'm in an okay place. Okay, so I can't lower my threat, so I will do this to... I'll do 6 again. With nothing in the staging area, reveal... I don't want that. So I will throw that back in the encounter deck.
Steady on!
I'm so thankful for this Frodo. And I get an evil smelling bog. So that's 3. I make 1, 2, 3 progress here, and that puts that away. Now it says the number of locations in the staging area is less than the number of players in the game. Discard cards from the encounter deck. Okay, so I already have that. Turn this over, and it says at the end of the staging step, if the number of locations in the staging area is less than the number of players in the game, reveal the top card. So here's the thing. This has a Mire 3, so I'm going to keep this in the staging area for 1 round so that I don't have to trigger this extra encounter card. Now I got to do something with this guy. I will defend because I have Sting now. I'm able to get rid of this. Sam is defending, and I will do this. Oh, yes. So 4 damage, and that gets rid of the Groping Dead. Nobody else has to attack. Nobody else has to do anything. So new round. I will put a Mire token onto the evil smelling fens. I will put Pippin into play, and I will put the Red Book of Westmatch onto Falco. I can now lower my threat, so I will quest for 3. I'll quest for 12, and there's 3 in the staging area. So there's a stagnant pool. This has Mire 5, so this can stay in the staging area for a little bit, except it does get extra threat for Mire tokens. I get to put 6 progress on the current quest. I don't have an active location, but there was 6 threat in the staging area. So I will travel to the evil smelling fens, raise my threat by 1. I don't have anything to do except for heal Sam. I'll put a Mire token onto the stagnant pool. So that means that there's 4 threat in the staging area. I will put the Fellowship of the Ring onto Frodo.
9 companions. So be it. You shall be the Fellowship of the Ring.
And now I will quest. I can still lower my threat, so I'll do 4, 16. Soft Mires. That's a bummer. That's the stagnant pool and the soft Mires look like they have very similar artwork. I'm curious. I wonder if it's the same, if it's like you put them side by side and it's like the same picture. So I made 10. So there's 4 and 6 more on the active quest. And I get to travel to the soft Mires. I get to put another thing here, and now I'm at 5 for that, and I will do a new round. Okay, so now let's quest. I can lower my threat, so I'll keep Mary up, so that's 4. I don't think I raised my threat to travel. I'm going to do that now. I forgot to do that. 16 against 5. Let's do it. Another evil smelling fens. Okay, so that's 8. So 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to travel to the stagnant pool. In order to travel to the stagnant pool, I have to exhaust Smeagol. I'll put a Mire token, and we will start a new round. I'll put the fast hitch onto Sam again. I keep forgetting to exhaust the red book to get my extra resource. No harm, no foul yet. Again, I can lower my threat, so I will keep Mary up, and I'll do 4. I'm questing for 16, and there is 3 in the staging area.
They are calling for it. They are calling for the precious.
Frodo! It's all right.
First player must choose to either search the encounter, discard by the victory display for a Nazgul and add it to the staging area, or exhaust the one. I'm going to go look for that Nazgul. I'm feeling pretty good about it right now. I think I'm going to be able to handle his attack, and I'm going to be able to kill him, I hope, pretty easily. He adds his 4, so I'm at 7. So I did 16, 7, That's 9. This goes in the victory display, and I now am through this.
This way. Going to follow the lights.
I put an undead enemy into play engaged with me. So this is that balance here. I got lucky because I kept drawing locations, but there's a balance here. Like if you have a couple of enemies and you accidentally quest through a location and gives you your 4 locations, you can be in a bad place here. I guess the only thing I can do is not the only thing I can do. The best thing I can do is just put out the dead things.
There are dead things! Dead faces in the water!
This is engaged with me. Now, Sam doesn't ready. All of these locations go back into the encounter deck. And the neat thing about this is where it's so creative by the designers, is that those locations now dilute down the encounter deck, and now I have 4 more locations, and so now I'm way more likely to draw locations, and those locations can then be a pain in the neck for me to have to deal with, and things like that. So let's see. This engaged me. I will deal it a shadow card. I will ready Sam. Sam will defend it and get rid of its... Oh, wait. Let me make sure that I do this correctly. Let me flip this over. If I'm engaged with undead enemies, I can't put progress. I'm going to travel to here, and I'm going to raise my threat by 1. So now I'll do all of that stuff. I won't engage the Nazgul. So I'll get rid of this. I don't know where that damage came from. He didn't have any damage on him, but I will... 3 damage because of Sting. I take a damage, but I will heal that damage. I will ready Sam. Sam's defending for 2. How about I just exhaust Treebeard and kill this thing? So I can lower my threat now. Whew. And I can play Gandalf for 5.
A wizard is never late, Frodo Baggins. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
And I'm going to lower my threat by another 5 because I don't want to have to engage those silly things that come out. Bilbo can target this guy and he doesn't do any damage. Okay, so I will do 3. So I'm questing for 22, and there's 0 in the staging area, and I get a soft Myers. So that's 2, so that's 20. So now I can start loading up the victory display. So I will put that in the victory display for 4, and then I made 16 progress. Let's make sure I do this right. Here, I did a damage, quested successfully. I get a resource because I quested successfully. I will travel here, raise my threat, and now I'm going to engage this guy. Even though, I don't know, just doesn't, probably shouldn't, but I'm going to. I'm defending for 4. That also readies this guy. I will defend. I'll use Forewarned to get rid of that. And I will use Sting. And it does 2 damage to this guy. Sam takes a damage. I will heal that damage. And now I will attack for 12. Okay. And I'll get rid of the Nazgul, the Morgul Wraith. And now... So I will play Frodo's Intuition. And I get 2 Peace and Thoughts and a Mithril Shirt. So I'll put the Mithril Shirt onto Frodo. Why not, right? I did get a Gaffer Gamgee. So now we quest. So I get +1 to all my heroes. And then +1, and then another +1. So that's 5. Quest for 21. There is nothing in the staging area. Hopefully this doesn't go wonky for me. Haunted Mirror. So that's 4. So I made 4. This goes in the victory display. So 21, 17. So that's 13. There it is. Success. Okay, so I was able to defeat the stage. And that's the thing. Like, if you make good decisions at the beginning in that quest stage 1, and then you make good decisions on the transition from 2 to 3, I think it's good. I got some pretty good cards out to begin with, so that helped out. But I think that the encounter deck lost just as much as I won this one. So let's see what we got here. Flip this over, and we will do the. It says each player must choose to take a permanent +2 starting threat penalty or earn 1 copy of the Searching Eye. So the Searching Eye is you reveal the top card of the encounter deck. We're not going to exhaust each hero we control, that's for sure. Starting at 28 threat probably isn't horrible. I think I will take the +2 threat and avoid the treachery or the burden. I'll update my let's see what my score was. And so it's 116. So I'll put this into my campaign log. So my final score was 116. Like I showed you, today's date is 8/15. And I never earned the Searching Eye. So I did choose a +1, a +2 penalty for all the rest of them. So I will put that here. Okay, so I guess now we go on to Journey to the Crossroads, which is a very challenging scenario, especially for this deck. So hopefully I'll get some good draws and we'll be good to go. Okay, everybody, have a great day.